Hello, and good morning. Again, my name is John Woodward. I'm a field sales engineer for Sage. I've been at Sage for, it will be 19 years in June. I don't know where that time went. And I've actually worked with Sage 100 for 24 years. I started using Sage 100 actually just at a warehouse just on the other side of the airport on Airway Avenue over in Costa Mesa. So started as a receiving clerk in the warehouse when it was DOS. So talk about going through changes and seeing things change over time. I've seen a lot of changes in Sage 100. So what we're going to do today is kind of give you a heads up on what you can expect with your Sage 100 cloud system. So we just talked about the previous release, so I'm not going to drill a lot into that. The current release, I say current release, it's expected this month. So we're going to be talking about what you're going to see in the March update for 2018, including bringing the Timecard module to the framework, budgeting and planning, options, Office 365, again leveraging the cloud options we just talked about earlier from the keynote address, reprinting sales orders from history, and some other things we're going to talk about. Now, what you're looking at now is kind of the 12-month roadmap. I'm going to go through each of these details one by one, but this is kind of your overall view of what you can expect over the next. So we're talking about the initial release or 2018 product update 2, which is again imminent for March, and then going to the June update, and then even the full next release of 2019 and beyond. So it is probably hard to see, but we're going to detail each of these as we go through the presentation. So one of the first things is the payroll module has been brought up to the business framework. Those of you who may be using the payroll module and Timecard probably noticed that you can't use the Timecard module yet because it had not been updated as well. So with the March update, we're taking care of that, and the Timecard module is being brought up to the business framework. Now what that means is you have the enhanced screens, the dual grid entry screens that you can utilize. Easier to create user-defined fields if those are things that you need to work with. So again, it's just much more user-friendly, refreshed, easier to work with interface. Now going beyond that, those of you who have 100 Cloud and have subscribed to Sage 100 Cloud will have the option of utilizing a tool for advanced budgeting and planning. So what you'll see is you have the option of using Sage Budgeting and Planning as a budgeting solution that it's a sister product, if you will, for Sage 100 that can connect to the Sage 100 database, pull in your chart of accounts, your balances, and it gives you templates, the most common templates that you can utilize for budgeting and planning. And it also has some advanced functionality like planning scenarios. If this cost increase, what's the impact to the rest of the business? So it's a very powerful tool that you can utilize with your Sage 100 system. Now, we talked about in the keynote leveraging the connection, leveraging the cloud and Office 365. One of the first things you're going to see with that integration is giving your employees access to customer-related information outside of Sage 100. So in this case, you'll be able to access, I apologize for the fuzziness there, but let's say a customer service rep who is responsible for helping customers answer questions about their account, would be able to access information about that customer through Outlook or Skype. So you can leverage and expose that information to more employees so more people can have access to that. Now you may not be able to see all the details here, but this includes an overview of the customer. Down at the bottom is basically their credit limit, that they're in the green indicating that they're in good credit standing, accessing to recent sales orders, recent invoices, recent payments, and again, outside of Sage 100, so you can leverage that for employees who don't have a license or access to Sage 100. ability to reprint sales order invoices and sales orders from history. So should you have a dispute with a customer, or let's say a customer has a dispute about an invoice, it's easily accessible from the sales order quote history inquiry. You'll have the ability to print directly from those inquiries to print those historical orders. So again, to help you with customer dispute type situations. Now, with the Timecard module being brought up to the framework, now we're dealing with the June timeframe, so product update 2, or 3, excuse me, for 2018. We're also going to enable a mobile app to integrate with the Timecard module. So those of you who are familiar with Timecard may know that you kind of had to be in the office to capture time, because you could leverage and access a time entry capability on a computer in the network with Sage 100. So an employee could clock in and out on a computer in the network. It wasn't really great. It wasn't easy to get people who worked in the field access to clock in and out. So what we're going to do is provide a time track mobile app that will integrate with the Timecard module. So whether we're talking about an Android phone, an iPhone, or an iPad, those employees in the field will be able to access and enter time via those apps with direct integration to Sage 100. Artificial intelligence bots, being able to get and retrieve information directly from your Sage 100 system and not having to be an IT expert to get at it. It's just plain query language. What was our highest sale? That type of thing. So let's just say Siri for Sage 100, and it's going to be Peg. So I can ask Peg a question, just some examples of what's our highest sale last month, and it will let you know who the highest sale was, what the sale amount was, and you can just ask in plain language questions and have that information presented back to you. Now, continuing on through, and again, we're still talking about product updates for 2018. If you have lots of sales orders for one customer, you may want to save on shipping cost and actually invoice multiple sales orders to one invoice versus one at a time. So what you're going to see in that June update is the ability to combine multiple orders into a single invoice. I see some people saying finally back there. So again, that's optional. So some people, it's per PO, but some people may be able to leverage that capability to combine orders into one invoice for one shipment and save shipping costs, etc. Those of you who have gone to Sage 100 and with the subscription model may be curious if you are getting everything that you can out of the system. So what we've done is within Sage 100, there is a landing page that you'll be able to go to where you'll be able to see everything that is available for your system that you can incorporate. Some are free that you can incorporate. Some are available for a fee that you would have to purchase. But this just kind of gives you an easy access way to make sure that you're leveraging everything that you can out of the Sage 100 system. Now, 2019, those of you who use the bank reconciliation module, there is a little bit of automation with that product where you can map a file from your bank to Sage 100 to automatically clear checks, but you still have to do a lot of manual reconciliation even with the auto clearing of checks. What we're going to do, and again, leveraging the cloud, working with a cloud, a web service provider called Plaid, is to be able to connect a live feed from your bank to Sage 100 to quicker and more efficiently reconcile. So kind of all the steps in today's process without the live bank feeds. And then simplifying that down to 3 steps. So much more efficient reconciliation of your bank to your Sage 100 system. We're also going to partner with XM Developments to provide an offering for e-commerce. And that would be a solution that would offer a self-service portal for customers, whether you need a B2B or B2C solution. So again, we're going to provide kind of a common template that you could be able to leverage and create web pages, web stores, and again, either a B2C, business to consumer, or business to business, or self-service interfaces so people can get in and get information out. This is just more about that. Now this is another thing that I've actually downloaded a test of this and looked at it. We're working with a development partner called XK0 to introduce what we call a global search for Sage 100. And it actually will set on top of Sage 100, and you can enter a search term, and it will search the entire Sage 100 database. Not just one. If you have more than one company, it will actually look for your search term in every company database that is installed in your Sage 100. And you can set default actions for when you drill into it, to launch an inquiry, to launch a BIE view. So it's a very powerful tool to expand your search capabilities, particularly if you have more than one company and you maybe have common customers in all those different companies, that you can actually put in a customer number or name and show you every reference to that company across all of your Sage 100 company databases. Another thing, again, we're still talking about Office 365 and the power of the cloud. Sage is going to introduce an expense management application embedded into Office 365. So your employees in the field would be able to capture expenses, post them back to jobs, AP for reimbursement directly from their phone. So it would provide an app for the employee in the field to be able to capture their expenses, provide receipts, and book back to a specific cost center. If any of you are using the work order module, work order module is now one of the few modules that's still not been updated to the framework. So it's still, if you work in all the other modules and then have to jump into work order, it still has the old look and feel. So with the 2019 release, work order will be brought up to the framework as well. So again, that will give you full capability to utilize the dual grid entries and data entry, easier access to create user-defined fields with the manufacturing capabilities of work order. Other things you can expect, excuse me, sorry here. Paperless Office itself right now is the, where you can create PDFs of all your documents, customer documents, vendor documents, and other documents throughout the system. You have to be a Sage 100 user to access those documents. So we're actually going to leverage Office 365 and move, or give you the option of moving the storage of those documents from out of Sage 100 and into Office 365 with the OneDrive feature. So again, providing access to your employees who aren't Sage 100 users to retrieve a copy of a sales order, an invoice, or a statement when a customer is requesting a copy. From the accounting side, there's a new requirement for how you are going to be required to recognize revenue. So we're going to be implementing the changes in Sage 100 to help you comply with that revenue recognition requirement. Managing your account with Sage, we're going to create a customer onboarding site that you can launch directly from Sage 100. And the things that you can do there would be able to manage your web contacts, so people who can access the Sage the platform itself or within your company authorized contacts, your Sage 100 account contacts, payment information, so verify your subscription information, and manage your user counts. So again, directly from Sage 100, being able to access that portal to get to and manage that detail. We're in a global economy, and a lot of people are working with vendors that aren't in the United States anymore. It's kind of hard to track addresses if you're beyond US and North America. So we're actually going to add more fields and give more field links, increase the field links, so it will be easier to comply and keep track of vendors in other countries beyond North America. Those of you who have lot tracked items, and those lot tracked items may be perishable or may have expiration dates, we are going to be adding automatically to any lot tracked items the ability to track an expiration date for those. Now, I will say that that is not you can do that right now with Custom Office. You just have to set it up and apply the Custom Office changes to the lot and have it basically tracked through inventory, sales order, purchase order, so you can track that. But again, you have to set it up now. That's going to be automatic in the future with this version. Another thing again is store and generate the documents, again, more with Paperless Office, moving to the cloud. And then finally, just the future outlook is, Timecard of the framework is very soon. Point of sale and e-commerce. Intercompany transactions is on the horizon, built into Sage 100. Right now, you have to go to a third party for that. Office 365 and bots for the asking questions. And then, of course, continuing to modernize those last remaining modules, work order and MRP. Thank you.